The Ultimate Typing Championship took place just a couple of hours ago. And events like this, which is designed to find the fastest typist in the world, is obviously massive news in the typing community. An event like this is also supposed to be one of the most interesting and riveting things about typing content. The fastest typist in the world, $10,000 in prize pools, huge sponsors like DAS Keyboards, and much, much more should provide to make an entertaining and fun experience for both the competitors and the viewers. However, this event and the live stream that took place was quite a bit short of what me and a lot of other people were hoping for. So today I want to point out 5 massive errors that I saw in the Ultimate Typing Championship, and some things that they could have worked on, done better next time, and hopefully they include next time there's a typing championship like this. Let's get right into it. For those of you who might not have heard of the Ultimate Typing Championship, it is a large competition revolved obviously around typing, sponsored by the popular keyboard brand DAS Keyboards. And it took place just yesterday. However, this was not the first time it had taken place. Actually, back in 2010, the first DAS Keyboards Ultimate Typing Championship took place, with Sean Rona taking home the championship as well as a hefty prize pool. There was also a video made about that, which got, let's say, a couple views. Not that many. I think I've done the same before. But yeah, that video got a couple views back in the day. However, in 2020, they decided to do it all over again. So with new typists and new competitors, and online, of course, because of COVID. However, there were a lot of major issues with the event that I will be hoping to uncover and talk about in this video. So the first major, massive issue that I had was that a lot of competitors were not able to compete because of privacy issues. DAS Keyboards and the people running the Ultimate Typing Championship asked for every competitor's full name and obviously their face cam, both of which were displayed on the live stream, which I'll talk a bit more about later. However, everyone's full names and face cams, and hand cams too, were displayed on the live stream for the hundreds and hundreds of viewers to see. However, this discouraged a lot of top typists from competing. A lot of people might not want, hundreds of random people across the world to know what they look like, their age, their full name, whatever, right? This was an issue that caused a lot of very fast typists to drop out of the event entirely. People who could have had a shot for the top 10, top 4 even, just had to not compete because of privacy issues. I think that this is something that could have been really easily avoided. All you have to do is just not show people's face cams and hand cams if they don't ask you, or face cams and full names if they ask you to, right? Obviously, someone like Sean Rona, whose face and name is everywhere on the internet, is probably okay with that. However, a lot of other typists probably aren't okay with their full names and faces being shown everywhere. So if a typist, says hey, I don't want my full names to be shown, or I don't want my face to be shown, that should have been okay. However, they needed it for whatever reason, which is silly to me. So a lot of people ended up dropping out. This may not seem like a massive thing, but a lot of people who deserve to be in the championship were not able to compete because of this specific issue, which is really stupid to me. And I feel pretty bad for those who couldn't compete because of this. Now, let's move on to the actual event. So it was obviously streamed on YouTube as well as Twitch, actually. So it was streamed on both YouTube and Twitch, although I believe YouTube got the most viewers. And with a quick 24-minute intro, we finally get to see the beautiful face of Nico Borst. Now, you might be thinking, who the heck is Nico Borst? Well, I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but this is the guy that helped commentate the Clicking Championship, which is another typing championship, back in 2019, and it looks like he's back to commentate the Ultimate Typing Championship now in 2020. I don't know much about him, but obviously he's somewhat experienced of a commentator. However, we'll talk a bit more about commentating and stuff like that later, because that's one of my other biggest issues. However, let's get into the quality of the stream. So this is, opening screen seems pretty cool, and then he jumped into things like going over each typist, what their name was. We got Izzy, etc. However, once we jumped into the stream, we could see what the actual stream setup was going to look like, and here's a quick pause of just a random moment during the stream. And here we can see Group 2, Race 1. So this was the first race of the entire, live stream, 37 minutes into the stream, which was already not that good. And you can see that we have the 5 cars and everyone with their worst per minute. We have hand cams, so Izzy's hand cam and Sean's hand cam. We have the text down here, and we have Nico commentating over in the left. And I have two main issues, or actually I have a couple main issues, but some of the biggest issues with the stream were the quality of the stream. So the FPS was not amazing. Like watching the stream was kind of like watching one of my streams. You would have expected better quality for a championship with $10,000 a prize pool. Obviously, they're trying to stream 10 different people's hand cams and face cams at once, as well as a race and Nico. However, I think that if Das Keyboards is willing to go so far into this championship, they should have made a better typing setup, and especially a better setup for the recording and for the streaming of the event. So the FPS wasn't good. It wasn't fantastic. It was kind of like watching one of my streams, which is obviously not what you want to be comparing a typing championship to. Another main problem I had with the quality was the hand cams and the face cams. I think that including hand cams is obviously a must because you need to see people's fingers typing. However, I don't think the hand cams should have been as needed or / as important as. And if I keep going down in the stream, you can see that it switches to face cams here, like Alex's and Kathy's. Right, even when the stream isn't on, I feel like watching hands type would have been nicer than watching people's faces for the entire stream. Another thing was that the hand cams and the face cams kind of just rotated around the screen at random. Here we obviously can see Sean's hand cam and Izzy's hand cam in the right area. And now we can see, Alex's face cam, Kathy's face cam in the left area. They moved around a lot, and there wasn't much consistency to the way they moved around. And I think that if there was a designated spot for the hand cams and the face cams, it would have been a lot easier to follow around who was who. The hand cams and the face cams also only stayed on screen for a couple seconds at a time, so it was impossible to really track someone during their race, right? If I really wanted to watch, Chak during his races, I could only see him for 5 to 10 seconds at a time, which was kind of unfortunate. The third thing I have with the quality of the stream was that the text, as you can see down here, is a bit dull or harder to read. The majority of the screen was taken up by the cars, which is obviously not the most important thing to look at, and obviously the hand cams and the face cams. But down here, it was hard to read the text. It was a bit dull and out of the way. I feel like if they had done it in a better style, kind of like Nitro Type at the bottom, it would have been easier to watch and see and actually look at what people were typing. However, on more of a positive note, you can also see down here that there is a marker, a colored marker to show where everyone is in the race. So obviously you look at the color, we got red right here, and that corresponds to Sean, who is in red. I think that's a great addition to the race, right? It's cool to see, where everyone is in the race, how they speed up and slow down on different words, etc., etc. So that was good. Moving on, we have the pacing of the races. So the pacing at which races were completed. This was a massive, massive, massive issue with the stream. And so, as we can see here, the first race in Group Q2 finished at 37 minutes. And the next race started at almost 45 minutes. So there was an 8-minute break. 8-minute break between between the first race of the stream and the second race of the stream, which was mostly filled up with Nico commentating. This is obviously not what you're looking for when you're doing a championship. Massive sports events and typing championships and gaming championships and tournaments are supposed to be fast-paced, riveting, and that is especially true for fast-paced typing. It's literally people typing as fast as possible. You can't have it be a slow stream. And having such large breaks of commentating and just waiting between races definitely slowed it down and it made it a lot less interesting. I asked Chak, who was the eventual winner of the tournament, after the tournament, why there were so many breaks. I was like, hey Chak, why were there so many breaks? And he said that it was mostly sometimes technical issues, sometimes just straight downtime. And that's obviously something you don't want from a massive typing championship is technical issues, right? These are people who literally manufacture keyboards. They should probably know how to make a better run tournament, right? With less technical issues. because those really took the entertaining, like, fast-paced typing out of the fast-paced typing tournament. And if the streams were once every, like, 3 or 4 minutes, that would have been a lot better. The fourth issue I have is with the commentary of the stream. I had not watched Nico commentate a tournament before. I didn't watch the clicking tournament championship thing. However, a lot of people in chat got tired or bored of his voice. I myself found him talking for 2.5 hours to be a bit annoying at times. And this is where I suggest that if DAS Keyboards is going to do this again, they should have 2 or maybe even 3 commentators. The reason is because listening to the same person say the same things for 2.5 hours about the same thing happening is kind of repetitive, kind of boring, you know what I'm saying? Which is why that having 2 or maybe even 3 people talking about the stream and about the tournament would have been much more interesting. I also think that having someone extremely fast, so one of like the top typists in the world that wasn't competing for whatever reason, to commentate alongside Nico would have been great. The same thing actually happened in the clicking championship, where the 2 commentators were Nico and Terran, who I believe Terran is like one of the fastest typists in the world. So it would have been interesting to see the viewpoint of an extremely good typist. Nico, as he mentioned, average is like 120 or whatever. So obviously he's a decent typist, but not like insanely good. And having someone really good like Terran or John or whoever commentating would have been very interesting. But other than that, I think he did a good job commentating with what he had. He was obviously the only person there, and having to talk for 2.5 hours by yourself is very difficult. You know, I'm literally out of breath talking for a 10-minute video right now. And I do this for a living. Not actually, but whatever. And so I don't want to flame him too much. He did a pretty decent job. He brought up like good points and good topics and stuff. However, I do just think that if there were more than one person talking, or if we got like a pro to commentate, that would have been pretty cool. My 5th major issue is actually with the final. And the final, as we can see here, ended up being between Chak and Sean Rona, to nobody's surprise. If you don't know Chak, he is considered to be the fastest typist in the world. He won the clicking championship last year, which was a typing tournament, and he's very, very good. Sean Rona, on the other hand, is a bit older. He's actually a lot older. And he won the Ultimate Typing Tournament back in 2010. As you can see in the clip, that is literally the #1 clip in my recommended. And it ended up pretty much as according to, you know, everyone thought so. Chak ended up winning the best of 5 series 3-0, like the god he is. However, having a best of 5 series is not like what I thought should be a thing. In a lot of typing tournaments and other sports tournaments and even like other video game tournaments, championships are decided usually by a best of 7. I'm trying to think of a couple examples. Baseball, the World Series, is a best of 7. Rocket League, the championship, and I think most of the rounds are best of 7. Tennis typing tournament, which was a typing tournament, was also best of 7 for all of the rounds. And I think that having a best of 7 would have made it more about consistency and made it more about like being a consistent typist and removed some of the RNG element. Obviously, I think that Chak would have won a best of 7 either way. However, it would have given Sean a chance to actually get some like good quotes or get lucky or whatever Chak or whatever it takes to beat Chak. I don't know. Shaq's basically unbeatable. So I think that having such a short championship kind of like ended it super quickly as well. Like the championship was like such a short period of time compared to like the qualifying rounds and then the 10-person round and then the 4-person, the quarterfinals, the semifinals. But the championship was so like short that it was kind of like, oh shoot, the thing just ended. Wow. And I think a best of 7 would have made it a bit more drawn out. Anyways, those were just some of my problems, issues, whatever, with the Ultimate Typing Championship. Congratulations to Chak for first place. Nice job, man. Congratulations to Sean for second place. You know, in fact, congratulations to every single person who qualified for the top 25. You are all very, very much faster than I am. Nice going. But anyways, thanks to DAS Keyboards and the Ultimate Typing Championship for making this thing possible. Even though I complained about it a lot, it was still very interesting. I still had a good time watching it. And it was still good, like, despite all the issues I had with it. So, go watch this thing on playback. It's still very interesting if you didn't see it. And apologies for the spoilers. I'll put the link in the description and, of course, in the comment section. Anyways, I'll see you all next video. Goodbye, everyone, and have, as always, a wonderful day.